Yeah. It's my favorite DJ, Crate Digger, Columbus's finest. Hope y'all enjoying it. Crate, always a pleasure.
Don't know. The transition, the Read Early Network, my brother's keeper, and the CBUS HBCU ambassadors. We're so super excited to be here with you guys this evening. Let's give it up one more time for DJ Crate Digger, who always sets the atmosphere, who always gets us ready and, hypes us up. We come in generally in the evening, so after a long day of work and life or whatever, we have a great time there. He brings great energy. So we thank you, DJ Crate Digger. He'll be with us throughout the evening, so don't you go nowhere as we, send him over to his other space. My name is Lawrence Lemon, and I'm truly excited to be here. I'm representing the Read Early Network. With the Read Early Network, we are super excited to be a part and to be sharing in this conversation. And we're going to jump right on into it. Tonight is an opportunity for all of us to come together and have a conversation. So it's not it's not something we're going to be talking at you. We're going to be talking with you and sharing their experiences. So once again, I'm just here to kind of host and kind of get a little bit of the time going, but we have some three amazing CBUS ambassadors, CBUS HBCU ambassadors, and we're going to bring them up at this time. We're going to start by introducing Arya Brent, who is from Jackson State University. Give it up to Arya. We have Mr. Mayan Turner, who is representing the Morehouse University. And then we have Miss Maya Mack, Miss Maya, I do apologize, who's representing Clark Atlanta University. And once again, we're glad to have each and every one of you with us. And so we're going to jump right on into it. Tonight's conversation is about the real HBCU and talking about that experience. And our organization with the Read Early Network has a program called Transition. And so we have a lot of young people that are part of this time who are either rising seniors or those who are moving in and they'll be going into their freshman year of college, and then just other people who will be joining the conversation tonight. So what we want to do is just hear from you. Tell us about your transition, that transitional time of your senior year, or maybe it was your junior year where you decided what university you were going to attend or you wanted to attend, and the process of how you got there. And so what we're going to do, we're going to start off with, let's do ladies first. So we're going to start off with Miss Maya Mack. Miss Maya, can you tell us about your experience?
Hello, yes, I can. So I decided that I wanted to attend Clark actually my sophomore year while I was in high school. I was on a college tour, and Clark Atlanta was one of the universities that we had visited. And like I always say, it's like when I stepped on Clark's campus, like it always felt like a home away from home. So like automatically I had that feeling like this is like the campus, the university for me. And so like as I was like just talking to like other staff members and other students who major in the same major I am, it just made me feel more comfortable and made me just, want to attend Clark. So like my senior year, I was kind of, of course, like had the nervous, like there's like most people may have like transitioning from high school to college, but I definitely knew like I needed to do this in order to grow as a person. Cause I feel like if I didn't attend Clark, or maybe just even didn't attend an HBCU, I definitely wouldn't be the person I'm going into today. So that was definitely like a huge transition for me, just as well as like just going through a lot of other major events that happened during my senior year, but that part, and just the support of like my friends and family encouraging me to like just go to college and just to pursue my career and just to keep going and just to not give up.
Thank you so much. Arya, tell us about your experience.
So my freshman year, I visited Jackson State's campus, and much like Maya, I felt very much at home and immediately fell in love. And so all 4 years of high school, I knew where I was going. Everybody else might have been trying to influence me, but I had a very good idea of the fact that I wanted to be a Jackson State Tiger. And then as far as my transition with my senior year, nothing had changed. I kind of opened up my options to other schools just because I was like, okay, might as well. But everything kind of fell into place for me. Jackson State happened to have lowered their out-of-state fees. They accepted me. Their tuition wasn't super high. And then I was always ready to spread my wings and to kind of get out of Columbus and see what it is the world had to offer. So my transition wasn't super hard, but just overall, like from college to high school, it is really different. And if you have the opportunity, I would suggest taking college credit plus classes to kind of ease like the workload or the lifestyle, so that once you get to college that you aren't completely culture shocked about it.
Thank you very much. Now, Mr. Mayan Turner. Mr. Turner, tell us about your experience.
Before I start, I would like to add on about the taking college credit courses in high school. Make sure that the schools you're looking at, that the credits go on to the next school. So make sure that if you're taking classes at Columbus State, make sure those classes can go to Morehouse College, Clark Atlanta, or Jackson State as well. But for my experience, I didn't know what school I wanted to go to until my senior year of college. I didn't know about Morehouse. I was looking at larger schools like Ohio State, Cleveland State, Akron. And then during my senior year, I just took a HBCU trip with my family, and I decided to go to Morehouse College. I loved the feel of the campus. I loved the people there, and the community was great, and they were very welcoming when I was there. So that's how I chose my school.
Thank you very much. So we all have different experiences. All of you have shared your different experiences for that moment. But we know that that transition is one that's real. And we've experienced that. I will have to give a shout out as I go into this next part. I'm going to give each of you an opportunity to give a shout out, one to your university, your college and university that you go to, and then tell us about your freshman year. And so as we go into that, I first of all got to give a shout out because I'm an HBCU alum, and we have some other HBCU alum out there. So shout out to your HBCU, but I'm a Kentucky State University thoroughbred. Yeah, give it up. But with that, we want you to talk about your freshman year experience, and then just tell us a little bit about your university once you got onto campus. And we're going to start with Mr. Turner. We're going to let Mr. Turner start off for us.
All right. So my freshman year experience was great. Best year of my college so far. Meeting all the new people that I met. I went to my school not knowing too many people besides my roommate. So I had to make all new friends, meet everybody. It was cool. Just try not to be in your own world all the time. It's good to be to yourself, but make sure that you're active on campus. Try to get involved. I was involved in as many organizations as I could be in, just to meet new people and get new experiences and learn the campus a little better and how everything was in the new city that I was in, because I've never been to Atlanta until I got there. So being involved on campus is very important, meeting new people, staying active, and just try to have fun. School. You make sure you do your work on time, but try to keep a good balance of having fun, being active on campus, and getting your schoolwork done, studying. Studying is really big in college as well, too. So make sure you study.
All right, Maya.
Okay, sorry. My freshman year also was really great. So like Maya said, like I didn't know many people at Clark. My roommate happened, we were the same major, so we communicated a lot. But I would definitely say like I was kind of like the opposite. I joined a lot of organizations, and I was just really trying to put myself out there on Clark's campus because I just didn't want to like be in my room a lot. Like I wanted to be involved, and I wanted to get to know the campus and get to know other people, which is still like a good thing, but don't let it get too far where you're still slacking on your schoolwork. And don't, because your parents are paying too much money for you just to go there and not be handling your business. So like at some point, like in the middle, like my freshman year, like I had to talk to myself like, Maya, like you're not just in Atlanta just to go to, join many organizations, which it was, was great, but I still had to like, focus on my studies and just, keep up with my work. And like Maya said, like studying is definitely important, but I still enjoyed my freshman year a lot. I met many great people. Definitely like my freshman year, it was just meeting people from different states, or just, I had met someone that was actually from like the Virgin Islands. So it was like a definitely culture shock, just meet people from like different language and just, how they grew up versus I grew up. And like, that was also big. Like you just realize not everyone was raised the same way you were raised. So definitely just keep that in mind. But other than that, my freshman year was great. And it's definitely the best part of my college experience so far.
And Miss Arya.
The first half of my freshman year of college was amazing. The second half I was robbed of due to COVID. But nonetheless, I had an amazing time. I was able to learn a balance of socialization and academics, which was always a bit of a problem for me in high school. So I was really, really grateful for that. I also learned the importance of networking. It's always nice to know somebody, but do they know you? That's the big question. So amongst people in other organizations, my professors, it definitely took me a long way there. You know, whether I'm playing hooky or I really was sick, you know, hey, professor, you're not just a number. So, okay, you know, cool, I'll let you make it up kind of thing. I had a really good time. I got the chance to join a couple of organizations, socialize with people. A lot of people from Ohio, especially not Columbus, come down to Jackson State. And so being able to meet people from different places and get that cultural experience, or, you know, talk about our differences and how we were raised, or even just basic things like slang and food, it was really great.
Awesome. So I'm gonna bring all three of you up. I'm gonna stay off the screen this time because we're gonna have a keep it real moment. So this is the real HBCU experience. So I want you guys to give us like the realest experience or the realest lesson that you had within your freshman year. And before you guys do that, once again, this is a conversation. So I'm gonna give you guys a few seconds to think about it. If you, all the people in the audience, if you have any questions, you can type it in the chat. We'll make sure that we ask those questions live on air with you all tonight. But just, we did it in college, it's called the Keep It Real session. So what was the realest lesson or realest moment of realization that happened in your freshman year? Give you a few seconds to think about it, but just like that keep it real moment. The stuff that they don't tell you before you get on campus.
May I go?
All right, Arya, you go ahead.
Money doesn't grow on trees. I didn't think that it did before. But after getting out of school and being broke, I learned that. And I come from a very full village, so I have lots of people to depend on, but I also know myself, and I'm fairly humble when it comes to asking of money. And so when I was down and out, I was like, okay, like, where am I going to get money from? And I say this because it's not even about expendable things. Like, books are expensive. They're not always going to be available in the bookstore. Getting it off of Amazon for however much is going to hurt your pockets. It's going to hurt your spirit. Trying to find the web version of the free download, the PDF, it's probably going to be outdated. Like, having to spend money on something that you think should be free is going to humble you. That was such a real thing for me. I was like, oh my gosh. And also, you can't return your books to Chegg if you rent them, because if not, they will come and get you.
Maya?
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay. Mine's also really similar to Arya's. Money. Apply to as many scholarships as you can while you're still in high school. I wish I would have done that more. Like, I applied to some, but I didn't apply as many as I should. So I would definitely say that big part was applying to scholarships, and don't spend all your money going out to eat with your friends. Save your money. Be smart about spending your money. And also, like, I didn't really realize it while I was on campus that everything, of course everything costs, but just everything goes a long way. Like, paying 30 cents to print paper in color, or even how many pages it goes a long way. So, like I said, my son Arya, just really be smart about what you spend your money on, and like how far it can take you. And just like I said, apply as many scholarships as you can, especially it helps. But yeah, that'll be mine.
All right, somebody said preach out there, so I'm gonna let you know what they're saying in the chat for you as well. So Mayan, let us hear from you, sir.
I try to stay away from 8 a.m. if I were you. If you're not a morning person, do not sign up for 8 a.m. because you will miss class, and you will get kicked out of class too if you miss too many, or it'll affect your grade. And you don't want that to happen because it's hard to get back up when you get down. And what they said with books as well, I would try to stay away from buying the book until you at least meet your professor and read the syllabus, because you might not even need the book that they tell you need originally. Like, they might be like, we don't really use the book in class, or we'll only use it a few times. Then I would suggest not buying it and just try to get the pages from a classmate or something. That's what I usually do. I haven't bought a book since about freshman year of college, honestly, but I'm not saying don't buy books, but at least if you're trying to save your money, then that's a way. And then also time management as well is very important. Try to like create a schedule, because your freshman year, your mind just going to be everywhere. Oh, I should go have fun, or I should go to this event, or I should go to the cafe and eat with my friends or something like that. So try to just manage your time well.
All right, so Mayan, I'm gonna keep you up there because that you hit on a great point. That was a mistake my freshman year. I took an 8 o'clock a.m. class, and
Yeah.
Needless to say, we did that class again. But you were talking about what's the one tip that you can give when you started talking about creating a schedule. But what kind of, like, as far as time management, what's a tip that you can give our students? Because we're used to getting up early, or they're used to getting up early right now, but that's because you got your mom and alarm clock and everything else.
When you're on your own, it's a lot different because there's nobody to wake you up, and there's no sense of security. Oh, if I don't wake up on time, my mom gonna wake me up. No, it's just you and your alarm clock at that. So what I do with my schedule is, I set at least 3 alarms before I go to bed for sure. And then for my schedule, I have my schedule right here in my hand. So you don't need anything fancy or anything. I just use a notebook and I just create little slots like this. And I just mark off things that I had planned throughout the day as well. So that's how I, kept control of my schedule.
All right, Arya, can you give us one tip for your freshman year for your students?
Kind of going off the same thing that Ayanna said, as far as like organization. Keep a planner, a binder, a calendar, whatever it is that you need to do to stay on track of things. Once again, communicating with your professors in case you were to miss a class or just something wasn't made clear to you. Ask them, hey, okay, so the exam is this date, right? Take advantage of opportunities. Like we said, you definitely don't want your socialization to supersede your academics. But every opportunity isn't going to come around again. They're not going to have a midnight breakfast every single year kind of thing. And if you have the time, then to do that, do not go by the motto, if tomorrow's not the due date, tonight's not the due date, you will stress yourself out. Try and get stuff done early, but, just understand, I personally do not think that college was as overwhelming as people make it out to be. Sometimes you put that on yourself because you think, oh, it's such this big transition, or it's this big jump from high school. It has to be so hard. And it doesn't. You can really make it hard on yourself if you're naturally a really organized person. I'm sure that'll help you out.
Awesome. And then Maya, let's hear one tip that you would have for your freshman year for those going into college.
One tip I would say is definitely when you start attending your classes, definitely start becoming like closer with like your peers who may be in the same classes you have, so you can start forming like study groups, or just forming bonds with other people, so that way like you have someone to talk to or just have questions about your homework and stuff. Because that's kind of like what I did to help me out, is I definitely just reaching out to people so that way like we can help one another. Also, just kind of piggybacking off what Mayan and Arya said, just keeping organized. Like my freshman year, I struggled really bad with organization. That was because like I was so used to like my mom having always to wake me up. Like it had kind of hit me that like, no, you have to wake up for yourself if you want to like make it to your classes on time. And like having like at first I wasn't used to writing in a planner, so I definitely had to adjust to that. Actually writing out stuff that would help me throughout the day. Like, okay, you need to do this, you need to do that. But yeah, that was definitely a good tip, I would say.
Awesome. So we do have, as we bring you all back up, there is a question for Arya in the chat. It was saying, is it with the Chegg account, or is it the check account, or the Chegg account that you mentioned?
Yeah, so Chegg is a service that offers several different things. I know that they have like citations, and then you can rent books from them. That's mostly what I use them for. They also offer like tutoring services or like answers or whatever. So Chegg is really easy. It's spelled just as it was spelled in the comments of Chegg. I think to have like an account to get like the answers and stuff, you got to pay money. Like I said, I mostly just use it to rent books or whatever, which is a free service. Well, renting books isn't free, but to sign up to do just that is. So yeah, but just Google Chegg, and you'll probably be able to see all of the features that it offers.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Mayan just helped us. It's $14 a month. So just make sure you guys put that into your new budget. So we do have a question from the audience, or our attendees, excuse me. One of the questions is based on, all of you are out of town. All of you left out of Columbus. So the question was, how long did it take you to get adjusted to your new city? And Mayan, you got a smile on your face, so we'll let you go ahead and start it off. Mayan, you can kick that one off. How long did it take you to get adjusted to your new city?
It didn't take me long, for real. It took me about a month or two. It wasn't really hard. It's not as bad as you think it is leaving the city. You'll love it as soon as you leave.
Arya?
It took me about a month and some change, just because Jackson is really different from Columbus. October hit and I was like, it's still hot? Y'all not putting on the jackets and the boots yet? Then November came and it still didn't happen. And I started having a panic attack. I was like, right now there'd be snow on the ground, or at least frost. This is not I'm not feeling it. Compared to Columbus, Jackson is very small. So it wasn't so much that it was such a big change, but it was just like, okay, like we're downsizing kind of thing. But I love it. I was about to say, if you're into Southern hospitality and kind of like, quaint and rural and simple stuff, Jackson is definitely a really good city to consider moving to, especially for school.
And Maya?
It only took me about a month to adjust to Atlanta. Atlanta is very different from Columbus. It's very busy. There's always something to do down there. It didn't take me long at all to really adjust to the new city. I was ready to leave Columbus because there's nothing here but cornfields and rocks. So Atlanta was definitely a big adjustment, very open. So I was excited to go to a new city.
You did not just say there's nothing here but cornfields and rocks.
Literally cornfields and rocks and potholes. That's about it.
Columbus is a beautiful, thriving city, but I will say, I do believe in leaving out for college and then coming home. I am 100% supportive of that. But you guys already kind of mentioned it a little bit. We talked a little bit about that freedom that you guys have, and not having to rely on your parents or having the support of your parents. So one of the questions that we have is, how did your parents respond with you all leaving, and how did you adjust to that? Depending on the relationship with your parents, like how did you adjust with that relationship? And whoever would like to start first can start.
When I was away at school, it wasn't such a problem. As my mom and dad left and dropped me off, my mom definitely boo-hoo cried. But they went off and they kind of, because I'm the last, so they were empty nesters. They had a really good time. But then when I came home for winter break, I got a lot of, you've changed, you're a different person. And it wasn't that I've changed or I was a different person. It was that I became very independent, because quite literally, my parents weren't there for me to depend on. And I think that my mom specifically, once again, took that really hard. But me being in the city, I talk to my parents hardly every day. So it wasn't like, we don't know where she is. And, that's an issue. It was okay. On a scale of 1 to 10, I'd say it was like a 6.7 is how well she took it.
All right. Mayan, how did you adjust to that? How did your parents respond?
Yeah. My parents were cool, and they of course boohoo cried when I had to leave and stuff, saying the goodbyes. Like everybody at my school, we all said goodbye to our parents at the same time. It's like a ceremony, and then you go outside and we do like a special hymn together that we all learn, and then we say goodbye to our parents, and then we go up the hill. It's a bunch of stuff. It's HBCU stuff that you'll learn once you go to one. But they took it pretty.
Talk about it. Tell us about
talk
that
about what?
That process. That's kind of the real moment. Talk about that. Just that transitional moment.
Well, I feel like every school has special traditions and stuff. So mine's, I can't tell you everything unless you go there, but it's special. I can't tell you too much because it's just secret. You just gotta go to know. But my parents, they were okay. I didn't really talk to them as much when I first left. They just left me on my own, to be honest. My parents they don't like hover over me or anything like that, really. So they were chilling, as far as I know of.
All right. And then Maya, tell us about how your parents responded.
My mom she was okay. I mean, when she first dropped me off, she did start crying. But I am her only child, so she was very nervous sending me off to school, especially Atlanta is 9 hours away. But I remember like during high school, like she did actually push me to go out of state. Like she did want me to get that experience. So she was happy that I was leaving, but also, sad that like her only child was leaving, she was by herself. But like I did call my mom a lot, like throughout the week, just, see how she was doing. Of course, she was checking up on me and stuff. But yeah, like she was okay. She's just, I don't know. She was just sad that I was gone because it's always just been us two. So without her was very different because we're usually depending on one another. But now we both had to go through this new experience without always seeing each other every day.
All right. So what we're going to do at this time, we're going to bring up Dr. Stewart, who's going to give us, Dr. Yolanda Stewart, who's going to give us a shout out for the CBUS HBCU ambassadors. So Dr. Stewart, how are you doing this evening?
I am doing especially well, seeing all of our ambassadors out here doing their thing. And shout out to the young people involved in transitions who I had the opportunity. I think I see Joy, who I met earlier, and Addie is hiding behind her phone, and My. So thank you all for coming. I will be back to talk to the other students about why they didn't show up tonight, but that's okay. So the CBUS HBCU Ambassador Initiative it's a group of 20 dynamic leaders that we have in our community. They're all from Franklin County and they all attend HBCUs. And the reason why they're so excited to meet with you all is because their thought is if we've experienced something that we can, share to make it easier for students who are on their way to college or maybe even transitioning into high school, we want to be in that space to share it. So thank you to the team at the Read Early Network for inviting them to participate with you all this evening. And I know we are looking forward to participating all summer through August the 11th, I believe. We'll have different ambassadors on. So please invite your friends to come out and share in this information because again, you don't have to repeat the same things that maybe some other students are repeating if you have a network, which we're trying to strengthen and develop here in our city so that young people have the opportunity to be successful more quickly, because that's what we want. We want you all to, take advantage of the resources that are available so that you can continue to make us proud.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Dr. Stewart. The woman behind the magic of the CBUS HBCU ambassadors. So we're going to take something from what she just said, and then we have a few minutes. I told you guys it's going to go fast. So before we do close out, I want you guys to have like a final word of motivation or encouragement that you want to share and leave with them. I'll give you a few seconds to think about that. I think we lost Arya. I don't know if maybe her signal went out. So we'll bring her back. But before we do that, I want to know one lesson that you learned, whether it be your freshman year or just in your time that you've been at your school, one lesson that you would want them to something that you wouldn't have to repeat, like kind of like what Dr. Stewart said, something you learned where you don't want someone else to repeat that lesson.
Arya's was because she had to leave. Her final word, so they do this so often, is, put fear aside and go get it. That's what she pretty much ends with. Don't be afraid to at least, throw your hat in the ring, get out there and at least try, because you'll never know. Every new experience, just try it and see if it's for you.
Awesome.
What I would like to, someone was going.
No, you go ahead.
What I like to say is trust the process. Everything when you first get there, it might not go your way. So don't get discouraged and put your head down. Just keep going and hopefully it'll turn out for the best later on.
Maya?
I would say trust in yourself and trust the decision you made, because everything happens for a reason. You're in that position for a purpose. So don't start being hesitant or start doubting yourself just because, something is out of the blue, something's out of the ordinary. That's okay, because you're probably in that position to be uncomfortable because you're always comfortable.
Awesome. Thank you guys so very much for being here with us. Once again, thank all of you who are attending. We're going to bring back up DJ Crate Digger, who of course is going to bring us out tonight. It is 6:30. I told you it's going to go fast. So we always encourage you guys to come back next week. We'll be here. Same bat time, same bat channel, some different players though. But we encourage and invite Mayan and Maya to come back, Arya and everyone else to come back in and enjoy with us and join in the conversation. We give a shout out to all of our transition students out there. We do see you guys out there. That's right, Rep Morehouse, Rocket, let them know. And we're gonna turn it over to DJ Crate. We see Howard, don't nobody care about. I'm about to turn you off the screen. K-State's coming up next time.